Students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends, every time I see Century Tower and I hear those bells, I'm reminded of the University of Florida's history here in Gainesville in 1906.
Dr. Fox! This is not real life! Oh my gosh, man, I can't believe you're here! Dude, we have to take a selfie. Can I please take a selfie with you?
I'm a little busy right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Awkward.
Oh, okay. What's your name?
Really?
What's your name?
I'm Clay. It's very nice to meet you, Clay
I'm
Hurdle.
Kent.
Oh
Good
my
to
gosh.
meet you.
Wow, Kent. Nice to meet you.
I'm glad you're here at UF. What are you studying?
I'm a master's student. I'm studying agricultural education and communication.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you, Clay. Let's take that selfie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Let's do it.
Can we get this crowd in it as well?
Oh, this is what dreams are made of. Absolutely. Wow, this is awesome. I can't believe this. I can't wait to tell my folks about this. Oh my goodness, President Fox, you have no... Where are my manners? I almost forgot. Go Gators! Chomp, 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 chomp! Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Go Greater, Clay. Welcome to the official kickoff of the Go Greater campaign. I'm delighted to join all of you with my wife, Linda. We have come together to launch Go Greater at an extraordinary moment for our extraordinary university. We are a top 10 university. I am so grateful to all of those people whose purpose and their persistence has led to this moment. At the same time, we have even higher aspirations, ones that go way beyond rankings. We aspire to make Florida the national leader in commerce, in technology, and culture. We aspire to lead the leaders in education, excellence such that our graduates are even in more demand. And we aspire to boost UF's presence in Congress, in the Fortune 500, in the National Academies, in the Kennedy Center, and in the United Nations. In short, we aspire to go greater. We will own the top 10. We will move up into the top 5 and beyond, and ultimately do more for our people and our planet. Gators, this campaign is the fuel for our ascent. It will create hundreds of new professorships and scholarships for our students. It will create exceptional teaching and research programs and graduate fellowships. Thanks to more than 500,000 gifts and commitments so far, we are nearly halfway to our goal of $3 billion. The driving force behind that is you. You were with us every step of the way before all the others. You're with us here tonight, and you are going to be with us as the driving force for tomorrow. Gators, we are going to go greater together. Tonight, we'll get an extraordinary look into the strengths that our university brings to our climb. From our amazing students, to our extraordinary faculty, to our alumni, who through their singular careers model the potential in all of us. We have an amazing show for you, so let's begin our Go Greater story.
Our world is not straightforward.
What are the challenges? Real world challenges.
This is not just a scientific issue, it's also a social issue.
Renewable energy is unfortunately very, very behind.
Improve the nutrition and the livelihoods of the poor.
People out there desperately waiting for new therapies, new breakthroughs.
Help people who are paralyzed regain mobility, function.
We really need to think entrepreneurial.
We have a lack of leadership.
The needs are tremendous.
I just look forward to getting up every morning, get a step closer to the development of a new medicine to help mankind.
The families that benefit from our research end up being so much better off in the long term.
We're developing an incredible depth of knowledge about what's going to happen in our future.
It's about helping real people with real problems.
Starting new things for the goodness of society.
What we have here at the University of Florida is so incredibly special.
UF is a very prestigious research institution, openly sharing ideas in order to improve the human condition.
And when we're out there doing our work, we're representing the Gator Nation.
We have a responsibility not only to the citizens and industry of the state of Florida, but the nation, and now much more internationally, that we will take what we produce and truly have impact.
The future is not just a place that we get to go to. It's a place we get to create together.
You can find the Gators working in every corner of the world, including mine. Welcome to my world, the deep blue ocean, where life has been really tough for one of Florida's favorites, the sea turtle. My mom taught me all about sea turtles growing up. She's so passionate about them, she even helped start the Whitney Sea Turtle Hospital, where I volunteer. One of the biggest problems facing sea turtles today is FP, the fibropapilloma virus. This virus causes tumor growth that hinders their abilities to move and eat. While handling these turtles, we must take extra caution in cleaning their tanks, preparing their food, and even taking blood. But we do it because we love them. This is not the only crisis that we're facing in our oceans today. Donors, volunteers, students, and faculty are working every day to solve these crises. Faculty like Professor Andrea Dutton.
Sometimes people think of the work I do as trying to save the planet. I'm not really concerned about the planet. I'm a geologist, and the planet has been here about 4.5 billion years. The planet's going to survive sea level rise. It's still going to be here. The question is, though, how are we going to survive? And one of the things we need to know in order to prepare is how quickly is this process going to unfold? And one way we can answer that question is by looking at Earth's past. Because to some extent, the Earth has done this experiment for us before. We're looking at this by studying fossil coral reefs. Corals grow near the sea surface because they need the sunlight to survive, and so we use them to track the position of sea level in the past. Coming to the University of Florida was a really natural choice for me. It's a collaborative environment within departments, within the college, between different colleges in the university, and all those things have a great appeal. We're building an incredible depth of knowledge about what's happening to our planet. And one of the things that we can do is use this information to help us to create a new future. A future that we want to be a part of.
From life on the highest mountains to the wisdom of the Australian earth, the Tree of Life shows us how all life is connected and constantly evolving.
It's our ancestral family tree. Where do we fit in? Well, our species, we're part of mammals, and they make up a small branch. The largest section contains the smallest life forms, microbes. But when we all grow together, the tree becomes beautiful, full, immense.
The information we get from the Tree of Life helps us cure disease, develop new medicines, improve crops, or even predict where species will migrate in our rapidly changing climate.
We've been building this tree for decades, and we've accounted for all of the 2.3 million species that have been named so far on our planet. But this is only a first step, a first draft.
We've only named 2 million of what could be 20 million species in the world. So much is still undiscovered. We have a long way to go to complete the Tree of Life. To give you an idea of the kind of complexity we're talking about, watch this.
So as you can see, we are all connected as part of the great Tree of Life. Bottom line, we couldn't have gotten this far without the faculty endowments that support our work on this major biodiversity initiative. And if we go further together, even the smallest discovery could transform the world.
To assist in getting the word out about this important work, we are collaborating with the UF Digital Worlds Institute to create an animated movie that will go out to classrooms, museums, and communities.
So tonight, as we move forward together and go greater, we'd like to share a little sneak preview of our current art and science collaboration.
Good morning. You must be the new curator. I am a catalog assistant and virtual interface node. Welcome to the Tree of Life. You can call me Calvin.
What is the benefit of having the tree?
Salix babylonica is one benefit of the Tree of Life. This tree has medicinal properties of great value to humans. Scientists were able to derive new medicines from Salix babylonica, such as acetylsalicylic acid.
In other words, aspirin.
Correct. You are experiencing chronophylogenetic travel as we move between organisms. The Tree of Life illustrates the relationship between all species on Earth.
So, you're saying this tree shows every single thing in existence?
Correct.
So as you can see, at UF, science is relevant, science is powerful, science is beautiful, and science is fun.
So thank you, and
go greater!
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. UF is a magical community where people even dance. Where else can you find faculty like me and donors like Anita Zucker sharing a passion for education, students, and even dance? Thank you, that lets me breathe. We are a community of writers and social scientists, artists, doctors, nurses, entrepreneurs, and scientists, all united to go greater. Our students are the hope and the future of our world. We will hand them the responsibility and tools to make the world a greater place. We treasure alumni and friends whose success and goodwill reassure us that what we are doing is worthwhile. Your friendship and support inspires our quest for excellence and provides the means to achieve it. Through endowed professorships and chairs, you help UF attract and retain the best and brightest faculty on the planet. In fact, tonight, I am really pleased to recognize faculty members who have been elected to membership in the United States National Academies. This honor recognizes their remarkable contributions to society. We are proud that their brilliance is bestowed upon our students and our faculty. Would all members of the National Academies please stand and be recognized? Thank you so very much for all you do for the Gator Nation. People who give to UF are helping to build buildings and laboratories that further our faculty's work. You are the ones who enable students without sufficient financial means to study here. And here is our hope and future. This fall's entering freshman class of 2021 gathered for the freshman convocation. This was their first peak moment at the University of Florida. Tonight is also a peak moment for all of us and an historic occasion. I say we capture this shot for posterity in another panoramic iPhone shot. So, please bring up the house lights. On the count of 3, everyone say, "Go Gators." 1, 2, 3. Thank you, got the shot. On behalf of all UF faculty, staff, and students, thank you, thank you, thank you for your time, your talent, and your treasured support. When we link arms with people like you, people like Anita Zucker, we are unstoppable. Thank you so much.
There's a Hebrew phrase that I resolved to live by long ago. Tikkun olam. It means repair of the world. To me, to repair the world means to change someone's life and to make it better. Make it greater. A child's first few years can predict that lifetime that lies ahead. It's the beginning where we develop everything important. Our brains, our emotions, our social skills, and our promise. Early childhood is where we can begin to repair the world for the future. Not every young child gets off to a great start. After I earned my teaching degree and certificate from the University of Florida, I entered my first real classrooms in rural Putnam County, just 30 miles east of where we sit tonight. I was ready to make my students masters of multiplication tables and leaders of language arts. What I didn't anticipate was how little those lessons truly mean in the lives of those students who lived in homes with no floors, without both parents, or whose circumstances surfaced in a rage that overshadowed their lives. Those memories will never leave me, but they steeled my resolve. That's why I am proud to actively support UF's efforts to elevate early childhood as a preeminent priority. Just look at those beautiful smiling faces. They're awesome. Gators are working to wipe away years of discouragement and inequality before they happen, and replace them with growth and opportunities that will transform entire generations. That's not just changing someone's life, that's changing millions through Tikkun Olam. So the next time you see a child, we go greater, and we start with the basics. Nourishment. Faculty like Adegbola Adesogun are game changers in global nutrition. This is his story.
One of the biggest challenges for me in this project is to realize the breadth and the depth of the problems. The needs out there are tremendous. In the countries where we work, there are very high rates of stunting or malnutrition. Most of the diets of the poor people are starch-based diets. So they fill the stomach, but they don't provide the important nutrients. It constrains not just physical growth, it's also mental growth. It's a huge, huge problem. I came to Florida because more than any other part of the US, Florida provided the opportunity to do research that was relevant to the needs in my native Nigeria. A project that would focus on policy, on animal production, on livestock diseases, on food safety, on future livestock systems, on human health and nutrition. UF is a comprehensive university. We have our core team that is supported by faculty experts across the university. And that's really what makes our approach unique and different. And so one of the things that we're trying to do is to improve livestock production so that they can afford more meat and milk in the diet, improve the nutrition of their children. And if we can improve the diets of those children, we have improved the growth of the child, the immunity of the child, the ability to resist diseases. We've improved the ability of that child to perform well in school, which can have huge implications on their ability to get a job that will support themselves, their families, and their extended families. University of Florida is very privileged to have this unique position and a unique mandate. We need to go greater with this. We need to continue to lead. We need to show the world what is possible.
Did you know that the College of Medicine developed a medication that helps people from going blind? Or that they make special treatment for people with leukemia? UF doctors help people all over, especially kids like me. Hi, I'm Nate.
In 2008, Nate was sent by his care team in Houston to be evaluated for a feeding tube that would bypass his stomach. Nate has a mitochondrial disorder that affects a number of organ systems in him, especially the stomach. He was 3 years old then, and even then he was precocious.
It made me feel sick all the time, like I wanted to throw up, and it hurt.
We felt instead that he would be a great candidate for a therapy known as gastric electrical stimulation. At the time, UF Health was only one of 2 hospitals in the nation performing that operation on children. Nate then became one of the youngest patients in the world to have the device implanted. His response to therapy was nothing short of amazing. He was simply a different kid.
Now I'm one of the many kids in this country that has this cool device in my stomach, and it gives me superpowers. Top that.
Nate's story is just one example of what happens when research, technology, and expertise all converge. So the next time you see a superhero like Nate, think twice.
We do. We go greater. And when we support initiatives like Dance Marathon, we go together.
Nate is right. At Dance Marathon, we couldn't do it without you. For the last 23 years, thousands and thousands of students have supported our efforts to raise money and awareness for UF Health Shands Children's Hospital. In 2017, with over 6,000 students, we were able to raise a little more than $2.7 million. Over $2.7 million for research, equipment, and patients for kids like Nate. And tonight, we're gonna show you how we go greater through dance. So I'm gonna ask everyone to please stand up, get excited, and enjoy this time with a lot of passion, a lot of energy. Let's get it, team.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
I've been up all night, trying to get there rich. I've been working on my milk the whole game twice. Gotta get it how I live. I've been working on my
Now that we're all here, I officially declare the party switch to be in the on position.
And after
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Can we get much higher? So high.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm
potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys, rabbit, you name it!
Oh, na, what's my name? Oh, na, what's my name? Hi, I'm Hilary Duff from Lizzie McGuire, and you're watching the Disney Channel. So, why not take a crazy chance? Why not do a crazy dance?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Go greater and go Gators.
And after all, you're my wonder. 3, 2, 1, go!
UF connects dreamers with doers,
from dancers to entrepreneurs. Welcome to my world. As a proud student from Haiti, I'm working to build my own business, to start something up, to innovate, Gator style. And UF is teaching me how. UF mentors are helping me to flourish as a student assistant on the Entrepreneurship and the Innovation Center. Gator Bootcamp and the Genzo Entrepreneurship and Adversity Program are helping me to navigate the business ropes in my own backyard. And as a Gilman International Scholar, you have sent me to study consulting in South Africa and the startup culture in Silicon Valley. UF is investing in me because they believe in me. It's the people who support warranting scholarships and programs. It's the people who help to unleash my potential. And it's definitely the visionaries like Herbie Wertheim who help to transform my ideas into innovations that go greater. Herbie Wertheim.
Hey! Hey! Well, Marcia did a great job, didn't she? How are we doing tonight? Are we having a great evening? I want to take a minute, and it's not on the script. Oh yeah, you're not in trouble. Tom Mitchell, this is your show, and the show of your people. Stand up, Tom Mitchell, and take a round of applause. Well, I'm a little tired, I want to tell you that right now. I mean, this is my third talk in 3 days. And I'm so excited to be here at the University of Florida. I just came off being on a cruise for 4.5 months. And to all of a sudden come here and be with all my buds and all my friends is a great privilege. Coming into the auditorium, or whatever this is, I guess the stadium, or whatever, I had about, I guess it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 or 9 people come up and say, Dr. Herbie, what's the story about that red hat? I said, well, it's a pretty interesting story. How many would you like to have me tell you the story about the red hat? Well, once upon a time, and this goes back 7.5 years ago, I woke my wife Nicole up. Nicole, 48 years, God bless you. She's allowed me to be all I could be. God bless you, Nicole, and our beautiful children. Thank you. I woke her up and I said, Nicole, we're going away for the weekend. She said, where to? I said, I'll tell you when we get to the airport. She said, how should I dress? I said, warm. She said, where are we going? I said, don't worry about it. We'll get to the airport. I'll tell you. We get to the airport, and she finds out we're going to Quito, Ecuador. Quito, Ecuador? Why are we going there? And I said, I want to see what's going on in Ecuador. I haven't been there. Well, we got there. And we checked into a wonderful hotel. The W Hotel was fantastic. Went to the market, and I saw these Panama hats. It's not that I have a fetish for Panama hats, but I bought a black one, a white one, a green one, a black one, I said already, and I bought a red one. Well, we had the greatest time, great weekend, came back to Miami, had to go to New York on a business trip, and I wore my black one. Well, would you believe the first time I wore it, I lost it. So I came back, my wife said, you know, that's not too smart, you know, the first time you wear your hat, it's gone. Well, the next day, I had to go out to the medical school. As you know, we have a wonderful medical school at FIU, and I'm involved in it. And I drove my car out, I was wearing my red hat. I got out of my car, and I was walking along, just minding my own business, and two of the students came up to me and said, "Doc, you looking good in that red hat." And I said, "Well, thank you very much." Kept walking. Walked over to where the medical school was, standing in front of the elevator, and two of the faculty members come up and said, "Doc, you look good in that red hat." Oh, I said, "Oh, thank you very much, appreciate it." Got into the elevator, pushed the button, 6th floor, got out, went into the dean's office. No more than about 10 seconds after I closed the door, both of the secretaries said, "Oh my God, Dr. Wertheim, you have never looked so good." And I said, "I'm never taking off this red hat." Well, it's my way of expressing a certain amount of creativity. And I think most of you have got to see me and know me, and I love you, and I hope you'll love me with my crazy red hat. You know, I was telling you that I was kind of creative. I want to tell you a little story that a friend of mine told me, a 4th grade teacher, an art teacher. By the way, I believe that art should be part of our STEM system. It ought to be STEAM. So we got to make sure that we include the arts in STEAM. She was kind of an elderly lady, 4th grade teacher for 30 years, taught art, and she had given the 4th grade class an assignment. And the assignment was, do something creative. Just draw something creative. And you have 10 minutes to do it. Well, she was walking around the room, and she walked towards the back of the room where there was a young girl who was very, very quiet, about 8 minutes into the project. And she looked at this little girl and she says, what are you drawing? And she says, "Oh, I'm drawing God." And the teacher looks at her and she says, "Well, nobody knows what God looks like." And the little girl says, "If you wait 2 minutes, you will know." Well, I thought that was funny anyway. So that's my little story about creativity. Well, why am I standing here in front of you? Well, it might be because I'm smart, it might be because I'm pleasant, it might be because I'm handsome, it might be because I went to school here in 1962 and studied engineering, and it might be that I gave $50 million to the university to help the College of Engineering. Let's say that it's the greatest gift that I've ever received myself. Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this great, great, great institution. And it's just beginning. An institution that's over 100 years old. You know, maybe that's not so old, because in a year and a half, I'm going to be 80. So, you know, 100 years, 80 years old, not so bad. During my career, I've been able to, well, I got a phone call about 2 years ago. I'm going to tell you this little story because I think it's a good story. Bill Gates called me up. You know, Bill, you know, my brother Bill, you heard Microsoft, you've heard that company. Well, he and a friend of his named Warren Buffett formed a group called the Giving Pledge. Now, have any of y'all heard about the Giving Pledge? They have 1,650 people in Seattle just giving out money. $80-something billion, and that is a B. Well, we've been part of that association, and it has been the greatest thing that I think I've ever belonged to, because we're learning from each other. Now, how did all this happen? How did I get to be so gifted to be part of that organization? And it all began with my beginning as a truant in Youth Hall in Dade County. I dropped out of school in the 9th grade. There was a wonderful judge by the name of Judge Ben Shepard. And Ben Shepard said to me, "Herbert, I'm going to give you a choice of two things. You can join the U.S. Navy if you can pass the test, or I can send you to Marietta, the state reformatory, until you're 21. Well, needless to say, I wanted to take the Navy test. And I passed with flying colors. Well, I went in the Navy. I wasn't even 17. In fact, they had to keep me in Jacksonville, Florida for a week until I turned 17. So on my 17th birthday at 12 noon, they enlisted me in the U.S. Navy. On that day, I was the youngest person in the U.S. Navy. Now that is a great record. In the Navy, I learned physics, chemistry, electronics, all kinds of things. I learned to fly, I learned to be a frogman, I learned to get along with people. I just learned everything. And when I got out of the Navy, I went to community college. God bless our community colleges. How many students here are from community colleges? We need to preserve our community college. Not everyone has got a 3.5 or a 4.0 to be able to come to the University of Florida. There needs to be a pathway for those to be able to move up in our educational system. I guess you can tell by now I'm off the teleprompter. I have a hard time following directions. When I got out of the Navy, I was gifted enough to have learned an awful lot about inertial guidance systems, about propulsion systems, about electronics, about instrumentation. I was offered a job at NASA. So I worked at NASA in the evening, and I went to school at the community college by day. Thank goodness I was able to do pretty well. There was only one problem. To be an engineer, you had to have 4 courses in physics and a course in EL 211. So I came to the University of Florida in the summer. You've been here in the summer? It's damn hot. And in those days, there was not that much air conditioning. I'm going to tell you that. I mean, you opened the window if you were in a dorm, and many of the classrooms were not air conditioned. So not only was it hot, it was sticky. So I had to take 4 physics courses in one summer. 201, 202, 203, 204. Now that was a real eye-opener about what life is all about. What the University of Florida gave me was the sense of being able to succeed. Here I am, Herbie Wertheim, 9th grade high school dropout at the University of Florida. I originally tried to come here when I got out of the Navy, and I went and I said, you know, I want to come to the University of Florida. They said, well, what's your SAT and what's your GED and what is all that? I said, I don't have anything like that. I got a Navy GED diploma. Well, needless to say, that didn't cut it. So lucky enough, I was able to go to community college. I want to talk a little bit about the concept of success. And the mere fact that all of you are here this evening means that you have been successful. Without question, this has got to be one of the finest educational institutions in all of the world, and I have been to many of the universities and many of the centers and many of the laboratories all the world. So please give yourself an applause. Yesterday I came with a kind of a concept about what success was all about. I think many of you are familiar with the term kayak. You've seen them on the, with those little things like that going up the rapids. Well, I'm going to use that as an illustration about success. Success, person in a kayak going up the rapid, going like the devil, going against the rapids, can't quite make it, falls back. Looks at the situation, says, maybe I'll try that one. Goes like the devil, Can't get up that one either, falls back. Looks over here, looks a little bit more, looks at that one, paddles, and makes it. Success. Now, what have we learned? That success takes observation. To be able to find out what you think you could do better. And if you think that's a good definition or a good example, please give me some applause. Well, our family's goal is to concentrate our resources and help not only the University of Florida, but as many educational institutions in the United States. And we are concentrating on public universities and public education rather than private education. And I wish that every single one of you take that mantra up and support our public education system, whether it's the University of Florida or the community college you came from, or the high school you came from, or the grammar school you came from. They all need your support. And it's whether it's $1, $20, or $100, do it. You know, I've taken enough of your time, but I want to say to you, thank you for allowing my wife Nicole and myself and our family to be part of the Go Greater example. And rather than closing the gator mouth, we ought to open the gator mouth for Go Greater. Thank you for your time. I'd like to introduce you to our alums, Matt Bellman and Alan Hamlet, and their story about paralyzed people and how to feel and heal them. Let's move on. This is their story. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing all of you.
Growing up, I was into video games, nerdy stuff, robots, and things like that. And I had a lot of family members with health issues. Primarily my mother, who had thyroid cancer and breast cancer, beat it both times, but that takes a toll. And so my mom would always say to me, I wish you could build me a new body. When I came to UF, with that message in my mind, I decided to pursue mechanical engineering, and what I really wanted to do was work on robotic prosthetics. In trying to do that, I actually stumbled across electrical stimulation, which is some of the research that Warren Dixon was doing in the mechanical engineering department.
Before Matt, we were really interested in how to stimulate just like one muscle group to cause a leg to extend or an arm to curl. Matt really kind of took it to the next level.
People who are paralyzed cannot be as mobile and active and healthy as other people. That takes a tremendous toll on their health. What we are doing right now with the MyoCycle is enabling people to stay active and healthy despite their paralysis, to prevent the secondary health conditions that come with lack of mobility, lack of exercise. Life of an entrepreneur is a struggle. One of the thoughts that kept me personally going through that was to get it out there and benefit one person, make an impact in one person's life. That would be enough. Not too long ago, we actually succeeded in doing that. That's what it's about. It's about helping real people with real problems.
Sometimes listen to songs and they get old after a while. I have to tell you, that theme never gets old for me. I just love it. In case some of you don't know what that was the Olympic theme, and I was an Olympic swimmer. So anyway, I'm really glad to be back. Matt and Alan are prime examples of what Gators do. We strive and we thrive at the highest level. That competitive spirit is part of our DNA. In 1985, I accepted an athletic scholarship to the University of Florida that changed my life's path. One of the greatest experiences of my life was representing the Gators. Now listen, I grew up in Beverly Hills, California, so Gainesville back in the mid-'80s was a little bit of a culture shock to me, to say the least. I was used to breakfast at the Beverly Hills Hotel. In Gainesville, they had Skeeters with their infamous biscuits and gravies. Skeeters. I hear it's not here anymore, though, so that's a bummer. In California, I was used to beautiful, clear, sunny skies like beach weather. The first day I walked off the plane and down the stairs in August for my freshman year here, they didn't have jetways back then, I guess in the mid-'80s at the Gainesville airport, a wave of 95-degree weather with 100% humidity hit me that I couldn't even breathe. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe in this weather. It took me a little while to get used to that. I was used to California colleges, UCLA, San Diego, USC, Santa Barbara, not a small college town being blinded by all the orange and blue outfits and the fans painting their faces orange and blue. But I chose the University of Florida because they had the best swim program, the best journalism school, and an amazing athletic department. Come on, little, right? All right. So I come to school, and I'll never forget my first dry land practice. Now, us swimmers obviously are always used to being in the pool. So the dry land training was the cross training we would do. And I had a coach that was a pretty strict coach. His name was Randy Reese. And he was the thing I loved about him is he was always trying to do innovative types of training, okay? So one of the first things we did is we went to the football stadium. It wasn't called Ben Hill Griffin back then. We went to the football stadium, and he wanted to do wheels. And I'm like, what are wheels? This shouldn't be that bad. It sounds kind of fun, you know? So he had these like 2x4 plank boards with wheels on each side of them. He made us get in a push-up position with a board on our knees, and we had to go up all the ramps in the stadium. So that was the first thing we had to do. Then we had to do weighted jump ropes, like probably 5, 8, 10-pound jump rope, weighted jump ropes on the field. And then sleds. Oh my gosh, sleds. So sleds were these like square boxes, and it had a pole in the middle, and he used to put a 45-pound pole there. So I'm like, this shouldn't be too bad. He's like, yeah, but you're running the whole distance of the field. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, no problem, I've got this. I put the belt on, the sled's behind me with the 45 pounds, and I start running, and it's dry out. Where's the rain? I need the rain for the sled to move, but it's completely dry out. I'm moving along, I'm the last one. All my teammates are already there. One of the assistant coaches says, Dara, think of this as the end zone as Rodeo Drive, and you'll get here quicker. And I was like, all right. So that was my first workout here. It was a learning curve for me, but I really learned a lot here at UF. I learned about hard work, I learned about sacrifice, dedication, and time management. But the biggest thing I learned is about teamwork, because UF has the best academic advisors, athletic department, teachers, tutors, and coaches, right? Am I right? Let's hear it, yes. And I have to tell you, I couldn't be the best without their help. And this shaped me into the person I am today, and it helped me be my best at the 2008 Olympics when I made a comeback. Now, for those of you who don't know know my background, back in 2008, I was 41 years old. I'd taken 6 years off, and 2 years before that, I had my daughter, Tessa. So I'm training for the Olympics, and the reason why I was so psyched about it was because there had never been a 41-year-old mom in the Olympic Games. So I'm like, all right, I've got this. I'm going to go for this. So I ended up qualifying for the team, and I get to Beijing. The Olympics were in Beijing, and I remember walking into the Cube, which was the swimming pool there. How many of you guys watched the Olympics? Yeah? All right, good. So I'm in this swimming arena, and I'm getting ready for my best event, the 50 freestyle. Now, I'm one of these swimmers that I just do one lap and I'm done. I can't do any of this distance stuff. So my best event, the 50 freestyle, this is the first time since the previous 4 Olympics I was in that I was seated first going into the finals. So here I am, I walk out, they do a little march to music. I get behind lane number 4, which is the fastest seed going into the finals. I'm getting ready, I'm like, all right, I've got this, no problem. I'm shaking out my arms. The starter says, take your marks, and I get into my track start position, and I bend down, and the gun goes off, and I dive in the pool, and I'm swimming really hard, and I have no idea where everyone else is, because I told my coach, even though I'm 41 years old, that I'm not gonna look where my competitors are, I'm just gonna stay like completely focused, and I coming in, and I get to the flags, and I get to the wall, and I touch the wall, and I put my goggles up, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the scoreboard's on the other side of the pool. I'm 41 years old. I can't see. I'm squinting. I'm like, how did I do? And I'm looking. I'm like, all right. And I see my name, and it says Dara Torres, and it says number 2 by it. I'm like, all right, second place, I guess that's cool. Now, mind you, before that, in the other Olympics I swam in, my best individual placing was 3rd place. So I'm like, okay, I can't be upset with that. So then I'm like, okay, which country beat me? At least hopefully it's a US person, so maybe we got like 1, 2. And I look, and this says GER, which is Germany. I'm like, all right, my coach is German, I guess that's okay. And then I'm like, well, you know, what was the time? And so I look at the winning time, and it says 24.06. And then I look at my time, and it says 24.07. Now, mind you, the good thing about swimming is that if you want to say something, you just go right underwater and say what you want to say, and no one can hear you, and the bubbles come up, and you're great. So needless to say, I said a couple words that I'm not going to say here, but I was not happy that I lost by 100th of a second. So I go under the lane line, and I congratulate the German girl, and as I go under, the bubbles are coming up because some nice words are coming out, and I give her a hug, and then I go under the other lane line, and this little like 15-year-old freckled-faced Australian, I congratulate her. And the thought in my head was like, how did I lose by 100th of a second? I lost by 100th of a second. I get out of the pool. NBC's waiting to interview me. I have 30 minutes to do this one interview, which they were allowed one question, go warm down, go to the podium, get the medal put around me, and get ready to anchor a relay. So I get out, and I go to the interviewer, and she says, Dara, she says, I just have one question for you. I'm like, sure. She said, 100th of a second, what could you have done? And I'm like, okay, I had been thinking about that for like the past 5 minutes, but let's see, what could I have done? And I'm like, you know what? I filed my nails last night. I probably shouldn't have filed my nails because then I would have won. And I walked away, and she's like, wait, what? What do you say? So I couldn't think of any other reason. I mean, I did everything I was supposed to do. I listened to my coach. I ate the way I was supposed to eat. I slept. You know, even though I had a toddler, she was great. Like, I just did everything that my coach told me to do. But I have to tell you, when I look back on that race, there's a couple of things that I learned. Number one is that if you gave it your best and you gave it everything you had, you have to be happy with how you did. So I know I say I lost by 100th of a second, but I won a silver medal by 100th of a second. So you have to be happy with that. Sorry, they got my script going like all over the place. And then the other thing is that I learned is that being 41 years old, everyone kept saying, oh, she can't do this, she's too old, she's a mom, there's no way she can do this. But the way I looked at it is if Nolan Ryan, a pitcher, can pitch a no-hitter at 44 years old, and Jack Nicklaus can win the Masters at 46 years old, why can't a 41-year-old mom make the Olympic team? So to me, it's like, right? So it's like, don't put an age limit on your dreams. And the last thing that I learned is that there's no way I could have done that without help. Someone always helps you, and that's what I learned. And I really feel like, as I look back on my life after the 2008 Olympics, I know who I am today because of my years at UF. People I didn't even know who gave me my athletic scholarship, shaping my story and the futures of thousands like me. So on behalf of all the student athletes, thank you. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for cheering for us. And thank you for making the Gators greater. I got one last thing to ask you guys, okay? So I don't know if you guys heard, but tomorrow I'm going to be the honorary Miss Two Bits, okay? So now, Mr. Fox, or President Fox is back there, and I have to have a little chat with him about getting more women out there because I heard I'm actually the third female out there, so we have to get more women out there to do this. But, hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. 1 second. I'm asking you guys a favor. All right, so I need some help from you guys, and I know that the stadium's gonna be much fuller than this, but I need some help. I need to practice because I have to do this tomorrow, okay? So do you guys mind helping me? Is that okay? All right. So and I want you guys to cheer loud after if I did well. If I didn't do well, you can boo me. That's okay, I got it. So I'm gonna walk out there and do this, right? Miss Two Bits, right? Come on, get excited, get excited. Yeah, okay. Danny Werfel, are you here? Steve Spurrier, I saw your videos, okay? Quiet. You ready? I want loud.
2 bits, 4 bits, louder, 6 bits, $1. All for the Gators, stand up and holler. Woo! All right. Thank you.
What makes us rise? Why do we raise our voices as one? When did you learn the salute? Right over left, arms locked at the elbows, till it burned in our joints and in our hearts. We weren't just cheering for a game or a win. We were rooting for something in ourselves. That's why we stand to watch our orange and blue take on adversity and knock the grin from its face. We stand to understand, once again, what it means to be a Gator.
Wow. Wasn't that great? Thanks to Dara and to all of our student athletes for reminding us that we can all go for the gold. It has been an incredible evening. And now that you have seen our showcase, I want to turn the lens around to each of you here in the O-Dome and around the world. We owe everything to you. Now, as we steepen our ascent, I respectfully ask for your support once again. From Olympic medalist swimmer Dara Torres to Tree of Life scientists Doug and Pam Soltis, from world-class inventor Herbie Wertheim to student entrepreneur Marsha Joseph, from repairing the world with Anita Zucker to helping to heal individual children like Nate. Gators, will you be our partners as we go greater? Let me hear you. As we leave here, each of you will be a light for UF, whether changing a student's life through mentoring, or lending your expertise to help a college, or representing UF as a student ambassador. And yes, making a contribution to the campaign. Each of you can shine for UF and for all of us. Please stand with me, 'neath the orange and blue, victorious. Our love shall never fail. There's no other name so glorious. All hail, Florida, hail. Gators, together we will go greater.
You're broken down and tired from living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, and we gon' walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the aches. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, silence seems too quiet, and it feels like it's kinda hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise you the world will be on its feet and move mountains. They're gonna be on their feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up high as the day. I'll rise up in spite of the aches. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you. In spite of the aches, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up high as the day. We'll rise up in spite of the aches. We'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again for you. Come on and rise with me. Come on and rise with me. We're gonna rise. Whoa, ho, ho. We're gonna rise up. Oh, oh. We're gonna rise up.
Let's give another round for Levon. Wow, that was amazing. Now I'd like to take this time to invite all the students to come down to the dance floor as we bring back my boy DJ Quan, and the end of this event with Gator style with some treats and dancing. But first, I have a surprise. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He was just inducted into the SEC Football Legends Class of 2017. Let's welcome Danny Werfel.
Woo! Go Gators! What a great night. We're coming to an end. We're going to be passing out some Beat Texas A&M shirts down here, so come on down, come get one. Go Greater, go Gators, God bless, good night. Woo!